After ruling Hong Kong for 150 years, Britain finally returned the colony to China on July the 1st, 1997.
The triumphant success of Hong Kong demands and deserves to be maintained.
The Sino-British Joint Declaration, signed a decade earlier, stated that Hong Kong's capitalist system would remain unchanged for 50 years until 2047. The principle of one country, two systems enshrined greater democratic freedoms than in communist China. Anson Chan was chief secretary in both the colonial and new administrations.
Watching the hoisting of the national flag and with the promises in the Joint Declaration and the Basic Law, I thought this was an opportunity for the country to come together, for the people to be healed. So to me, it's a very, very real disappointment to see how far things have deteriorated. And we're particularly disappointed that neither signatory to the Joint Declaration, that is China and Britain, have honored their promises to the people of Hong Kong.
At the Hong Kong Jockey Club, a lasting symbol of the heyday of British Empire, Wednesday night races regularly see a turnover of over £100 million. An increasing number of gamblers from mainland China have given a huge tax boost to Hong Kong. But growing Chinese influence hasn't been welcomed by everyone. In 2014, a wave of pro-democratic civil disobedience, known as the Umbrella Revolution, brought the city to a standstill.
We were just students and wanted to have a civil disobedience. I think the public share the same anger and share the same eagerness for true democracy, so that the situation exploded.
After 79 days, the protesters were cleared by force. Since popular protest had failed, Nathan Law, Joshua Wong, and other protest leaders formed Demosista, a new party advocating self-determination for Hong Kong. Now Nathan Law is an insider, a member of the Legislative Council, Hong Kong's parliament, having won a seat in local elections last October. But Hong Kong's Beijing-backed government is now seeking to disqualify a group of pro-democracy legislators, including Nathan Law, from office.
The government has been trying to unseat me with this court case, and it shows a very serious screening of a political view in Hong Kong.
The disappearance in 2015 of 5 booksellers, including one British national, allegedly abducted from inside Hong Kong into mainland China, appeared to violate the one country, two systems principle. Also new to the legislature is Holden Chow, vice chairman of Hong Kong's biggest pro-Beijing party.
I consider myself as a Chinese, as a patriot. I think the government has to do something to educate the youngsters that we have a Chinese identity. The whole world has experienced a lot of economic downturn everywhere. If you look at the economic figure, or if you look at, generally speaking, our economy, we are safe. I think that is a contribution by the central government.
A 19-mile bridge is due to open later this year. It will link Hong Kong to the dynamic economic area of southeastern China. But for many of the younger generation, the argument that integration brings prosperity rings hollow. Income inequality in Hong Kong is at its highest in 4 decades. Sky-high property prices, exacerbated by inward investment from mainland Chinese buyers, are fueling resentment and a sense of hopelessness. Jay Yam lives in a tiny space in a subdivided flat. Including bills, it costs her almost half her monthly salary.
My flat is less than 100 square foot. It's quite a small space, but the reason I choose to live here is because this is the only flat that I can afford.
Mong Kok district, where she lives, is officially the most densely populated place on Earth.
This price is about $2 million US, and I have to save money for like 300 years to get this flat.
Jay took part in the umbrella movement 2 years ago and usually marches in the political rallies that take place on the July 1st handover anniversary. But this year is different.
The coming 1st of July, I'm not interested, I'm not excited because I know that the government won't listen.
A 2016 survey by an independent think tank found that over 40% of young Hong Kongers want to leave. Sam Long and his family are preparing to move to Vancouver.
It's all gone. All furniture is gone.
Between early 2015 and 2016, the number of emigres to Canada doubled.
Hong Kong has changed. There's no turning back. So I have to think about my future. Mostly it's my kids' future.
Lung has a final dim sum lunch with his parents. His father, William, was among hundreds of thousands of Chinese who fled the political turmoil and hardship of the 60s and 70s for a better life in Hong Kong. In February, his daughter also left Hong Kong for Australia.
因为我是1974年从大陆偷渡过来香港，我们在这里建立了3代人，我们应该觉得很满足、很幸福。但是在这一年里边，2月份我女儿又跟女婿、外孙2个移民了到了澳大利亚，现在又轮到他们了，所以这里是有点心里有点难过的。
My friends, some of my friends, they didn't know I will leaving, so they email me or WhatsApp me, and they all of them is not asking why, is asking how.
As Chinese President Xi Jinping arrives in Hong Kong amidst tightened security, official celebrations are already underway.
我相信，通过在港的一系列活动，一定会增强我们发展香港、建设香港的信心。
Chang Yo-tong is one of the chief celebration organizers, welcoming delegates from the mainland.
已经回归了，这结束了一个100多年的殖民统治，回到那个中国人自己管理中国的地方，所以我们呢，觉得是很值得去庆祝的。
On the night of President Xi's arrival, Nathan Law and other activists stage a prohibited protest on a sculpture gifted by Beijing to mark the handover.
Anniversary of handover. There's nothing left to be celebrated, but to review the implementation of one country, two systems, and to urge the Beijing government to grant Hong Kong democracy.
Police arrest and detain Nathan Law, Joshua Wong, and 24 others.
I understand that the rest of the world want to do business with China, okay? But Britain cannot escape its legal and moral responsibility to Hong Kong. When China made it plain that it's not a high degree of autonomy after all, it's whatever I choose to give you, why did Britain not speak up?
Back at the Jockey Club, the gamblers place their bets.
Like there's a phrase like a frog in a hot water. If you just put the temperature up slowly and slowly, you get used to it, but then you still eventually die.
For many, there's a growing sense that the outcome for Hong Kong has already been rigged.